And a good afternoon to you. I'm Brent Hunsaker.
And I'm Abigail Taylor in for Natalie Hurst. Cities can no longer prosecute people for sleeping on the streets. That's the ruling from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals.
Now, that lawsuit was filed back in 2009 by 6 homeless people against the city of Boise. And though the city has made changes since then, the panel says it didn't go far enough. CBS 2's Haley Kramer is live here in studio. She spoke to the city, a local shelter operator, and a man who could be directly impacted by this decision.
Just 2 days ago, you could have been given a ticket for spending the night on the sidewalk or in a public place if there were beds available in a shelter. But after yesterday's ruling, that's no longer the case.
My reaction to the 9th Circuit decision is one of frustration.
That decision says prosecuting people for sleeping on the streets if they have nowhere else to go is cruel and unusual punishment. In response to the original lawsuit, Boise changed their policy in 2014.
We did determine that we shouldn't be taking people if there was not room in the local shelters. And so on a nightly basis, the law enforcement dispatch office will call the community shelters and ask if they have capacity in their facilities. And if they do, then the officers have that information, and then they can pass that information on to those that they come across in the community. But if they are full, then those tickets are not handed out.
But attorneys argued that did not solve the problem, saying that some shelters only allowed people to stay for a short time, and others asked them to take part in religious activities that did not suit their beliefs. The Boise Rescue Mission Ministries says that's never been the case for them.
Not our policy, we won't do that. So I'm frustrated that in that decision, once again, it's claimed that our shelters do require people to attend religious services in order to be served. It's just not true, and it's very frustrating that after all this time that's still being said.
Lawrence Bankston has been homeless for a year and for the most part believes this is a positive decision by the courts. He is staying in a local shelter, but says he understands the reasons many homeless people don't want to do the same.
A lot of people don't want to be in the shelters. They're noisy. People are constantly snoring, coughing. Somebody gets sick, they start passing it around.
Lawrence says although he tries to stay in the shelters, he has been ticketed in the past for sleeping in a public place.
I don't think that's fair. I really don't. I mean, you're going to give them a ticket. What are you going to do? You want to put them in jail? You going to fine them? If they're homeless and they don't have a job, how are they going to pay the fine?
Boise police say between March and July of this year, 22 people have been cited for camping in a public place. The city says they believe the decision has only affirmed the approach they've taken in the past several years. And moving forward, it will be taking a close look at this decision with attorneys and possibly change it.
It could either be a request for reconsideration by the entire 9th Circuit panel or an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. Again, our attorneys are taking a close look at this to see what the best path forward is.
For now, the city says they will continue to work to improve their services, including the new community shelter on Fairview, and they're also working with the VA on a new veterans housing program. Live in studio, Haley Kramer, CBS 2 News.